Waleed Phares, Fox News national security and foreign affairs analyst. Waleed, good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
First, your reaction and thoughts as you look on at the events unfolding in Baghdad this morning.
Well, the first and most important thing is to clarify to the public and the viewers. Who are these so-called demonstrators? I mean, if we play the videos, we see what? Those yellow flags. This is not the Iraqi flag. These are the flags of the pro-Iranian militias, mostly Hezbollah's Kataib of Baghdad and Iraq. Second, very important, you can see uniforms. I mean, I'm speaking and I'm looking at a militiaman with his uniform. So what that means, basically, is that these are militias conducting a urban attack, meaning without firearms, to put pressure on the United States Embassy to shut down. That's the immediate goal of these militias.
Let me give you some examples of the reaction that we're seeing this morning in the middle of all this. A tweet from Marco Rubio. It's beyond dispute that these Shia militias in Iraq aren't just backed by Iran, they are directed and controlled by them. Any attacks by them are the direct work of Iran's IRGC. Dan Hoffman also joined us on this program just a short time ago and said this.
Iran has been using their proxy militants to target us. They want us out. They want to drive a wedge between the United States government and the Iraqi government. We saw the Iraqi Prime Minister Adel Abdel Mahdi say this was a violation. U.S. F-15 strikes on those Kataib Hezbollah weapons locations was a violation of Iraqi territorial integrity. He felt like he probably needed to say that, but that's what drives a wedge between our two countries.
With the tensions quickly escalating here, Waleed, the big question is how we respond next.
Well, first of all, let's be calm about the security of our embassy. We have enough forces on the ground, in the air, to protect ourselves. I don't think the Iranians are going to play the game of frontal attack directly with firepower against the embassy. They know the response. We're not in Tehran of 1979. We are in Iraq after we have defeated ISIS. And by the way, the Iraqi government politicians who are saying this is not a legitimate strike, we have an agreement with the government of Iraq. We actually have destroyed ISIS across Iraq, and this is a reaction to an attack by the Iranians. These are the rules of engagement. If the Iraqi army is attacked, you know, they're going to respond, so we could do the same. But the most important point in my view here, Sandra, is that why these militias are doing this. They're doing this for two reasons, as we all know, is to drive us out. Get to the issue of the sanctions, but more important, they want to divert attention from the millions of young Iraqis, mostly Shia, demonstrating in Iraq for the last 2 months. That's the goal, because there have been statements made this morning and yesterday by the heads of the militia in Iraq, the pro-Iranian militia, saying, now we're going to attack the Americans, and then we're going to go against the agents of the Americans, who are the youth in the streets of Baghdad to Basra. That's the reason for why they are doing those aggressive acts against us.
As for the American response, those 5 strikes in Iraq and Syria that killed 24 fighters, wounded dozens more. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo appeared on Fox News yesterday morning, responding to that and hinting at what is to come. Here's the Secretary of State.
This was an Iranian-backed rogue militia acting to deny the Iraqi people their basic sovereignty. It's Qasem Soleimani, it's the Ayatollah working to expand their terror campaign all around the world. They took a strike at an American facility. President Trump's been pretty darn patient, and he's made clear at the same time that when Americans' lives were at risk, we would respond.
You come to the moment now, Waleed, to where we just saw the White House put out a statement via Twitter, the president saying to those many millions of people in Iraq who want freedom and who do not want to be dominated and controlled by Iran, this is your time. Give us your sense of what we see next in the days and weeks to come here.
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of voices in Washington and elsewhere about what can we do. We are in a big trouble. Not at all. We actually should divide our strategy, if I may say. One, to respond to military actions by military actions, as when the militias attacked our posts, we responded in a very limited and very rational way. But at the same time, you just mentioned the tweet of the president. This is exactly what the administration should be doing, starting with the president, Secretary of State, and I hope that congressional leaders will support. That is to talk to the Iraqi people, talk to the Iraqi demonstrators and telling them this is your time. What will happen? That would flip most of Iraq. First the Shia. The Sunni are already against Iran, and the Kurds are against Iran. It is a good momentum if we know how to engineer it.
All right, this is a developing situation there in Baghdad. This is some of the video that we have, and we are going to continue to bring our viewers anything that we get as it comes in. Waleed Phares, we appreciate you coming on to react this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.